welcome into another edition of the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. I'm your host, James DiVirgilio, and on this episode, we'll take a look at Florida's offense versus South Carolina. This was, in my opinion, the best piece of film that Billy Napier and his coaching staff has put out while coaching at Florida. There are so many excellent things to look at, but first, let me give you a statistic. Air yards. Last week, we saw that Florida had a quite pedestrian 28 air yards. Coming into the South Carolina game, Florida was averaging under 100 air yards per game. They were averaging just 153 intended air yards per game. This game, 216 air yards and a whopping 491 intended air yards. Florida indeed was attacking more vertically in this game than we've seen all season. And I think the concepts that Florida put on display were the best concepts that I've seen Florida utilize in one single game since Billy Napier has been here. As always, if you enjoyed this content, sub to this channel, follow us on social media, drop us a dono where you can support our efforts to bring you more of this content throughout the year. Check out our podcast where each and every Monday we bring you in-depth analysis on the Gators, and check out our merch where you can support us by repping our gear. All right, before I hop into the film, one note of disclaimer. South Carolina's defense was in fact terrible. We knew that coming into the game. They are 125th with regards to success rate. They are bad at stopping the run. They are bad at stopping the pass. Florida, of course, could have been expected to have a successful day, but the way they had success, not on the ground, averaging a pedestrian 2.2 yards per carry, but almost entirely through the air, through the use of largely vertical passing, was in fact different for the 2023 edition of the Florida Gators. But the best thing about film review is you can see for yourself. Take a look at these plays and decide what you think happened as I explain to you what is my opinion. I feel like I shouldn't have to give this disclaimer, but each and every week, it feels like someone comes to me on the comments and says, hey, you don't know exactly what's happening. That is true. I do not. I'm guessing what happens. I don't know the plays. I do not know the exact calls and where the primary reads are. I'm simply making inferences for your entertainment and mine, as well as the ability to track the progress of the football team as we move from week to week. So with that being said, let's take a look at what Florida put on film versus South Carolina.
First play of the game for Florida. Florida in a set we have seen many times in the Billy Napier era. We've got a bunch set here. One wide receiver split out to the left. And Florida's going to run inside zone. Inside zone versus a box that is obviously pretty heavy. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys in the box right here. Whole bunch of guys in the box. We want to see how South Carolina's terrible run defense, and this is a terrible defense, as we mentioned just a few seconds ago, with their success rate being 125th and being one of the worst defenses versus run and pass. So, not a bad idea to see what it's going to look like. Can you run on this team even if you're going up against a bad box? And right out of the gate, Florida goes split zone here with Arliss, orbit motion here with Ricky, inside zone here for Montrell. They're going to get a really nice block from Mazuka, who's going to take his man down in the gap we're going into right here. Mazuka take him down. Slaughter comes down with him, leaving a nice pile of bodies for Montrell to hurdle over right here. And we're off and running. First down, leading to a first down to open the game. It's a good sign for Florida if they can run early on in this game. Of course, what's extra special about this performance is Florida did not run the ball well, averaging just 2.2 yards per carry for a total of 71 yards, yet amassed 500 plus yards of offense if you take out the kneel down yards at the end. This is not a usual game plan for Florida to win a football game. Florida's performance on the road this year, obviously woeful, 12.5 points per game, certainly not a lot of production at all through the air. This is shocking in many regards, regardless of the opponent for South Carolina, because, of course, Florida did not do what you see on this first play here, which is run the ball, for 10 plus yards every single play. In fact, we're not going to see a whole lot of runs that are ultimately too successful in this game, and that's going to make a very different film review for us together on this episode. Very next play, South Carolina still going to play the run here. Although they're in a too high safety look, they're going to bring a corner blitz to get edge pressure to help with the run. Still expecting Florida to come out and play run. Also, being ready for Florida to run play action on first down, something we've talked about all season long that Florida has not been successful with and needed to get production on, were some vertical passes on first down. Now, Florida's run 2-man routes and 3-man routes out of play action on first down as well. So it's not like every play you see here is going to be something new. In fact, that is not the case at all. However, a lot of these concepts were well drawn up for how South Carolina defended them. That's what's important here. And then a lot of these concepts we'll see as we go through this, in fact, are different from what we've seen before. But right now, early on, clear out route here. Corner blitz, safety off your screen is going to pick this up. They're going to run vertical together, clearing out all of the space for about 40 yards on the right sideline where the play wants to go. Arliss, an emerging tight end here for Florida, getting better each game. And then Ricky running here. A levels concept with a high-low route. Mertz then going to come out, and this is what I like, right? We've seen Florida run similar concepts like these where we move the pocket. We've also seen Florida run a lot of concepts like this where we just send 2 guys out, and oftentimes this is your clear out route, and then Ricky runs, a quarter over concept. Here we get sitting in the pocket. I like this a lot better because the edge pressure, which teams consistently bring on us and have caused problems for us when we roll out to the right, is not going to get home because Florida's going to account for this very creatively by bringing Richie Leonard, the guard, over here and then bringing our tight end over here to block this. So we're going to pick up both of these pressures, which is really important to give ourselves time, there it is, to let this play develop because right now nobody is actually open. We have not crossed the face of the hook defender here, which you're going to see right now. Hook defender gets crossed, good, protection. Everyone's clean, and now we get a nice pass here to Arliss. Ricky falls down on his own accord, but we're in good shape here to pick up chunk yardage and a big first down from first down, something that we've needed to see from Florida for quite some time now. We actually see a completed first down. That's almost maybe half the air yards that we saw Florida complete. It's about 10 yards right there than we saw Florida complete, obviously, last week and most of this season. However, Florida, as you've already heard, had over 200 air yards and almost 500 intended air yards. So they were slinging the ball vertically in this game, a surprise for all of us who've been following this season of the Florida Gators. But more importantly, they were productive. And that's far more important than just trying, is to actually be productive. And here's an example here of a simple and safe throw. Well-executed play design, accounting for the edge pressure, taking advantage of what you expect South Carolina to give you early in this game, and things are going according to script. Here's a new look for Florida that unfortunately you're not going to see because TV is not going to show it to you. We're focusing here on Arliss Boardingham, and I'm going to stop it right here and show you why this is different. Florida with twins up top and a very wide split, which started out here as trips and a bunch set like this. This was Arliss. Here we are like this. So we're wide push to the boundary. We're twins here. So we have a receiver all the way outside the numbers. We have Montrell here outside the numbers and all of these receivers outside the numbers. So what we've effectively done here is we've stretched this fully east-west here, and we've counted the numbers pre-snap. We have a hook defender here in the middle, which is pretty nice. So we've got 5 guys here, right? Here, here, here. So they're playing 3v2, and they're playing 3v2. Now, this is why I love occasionally utilizing these east-west splits. There are huge advantages to doing so, and they're also dynamic plays, as you've seen me chronicle before. But most importantly, numbers-wise, it's really easy. Can the hook defender get all the way over here in time to stop this, or are we able to get a block here and a block here and pick up easy yards on first down and 10? This is basically a handoff, except you're creating more space for your playmaker. Watch it play out, and there you go. No, the answer is no. He cannot get there in time, and we're going to pick up 7 or 8 yards basically for free. This is football by alignment. This right here is yardage by alignment, right? Nothing special. The formation is what creates the win here. That creates the spacing. South Carolina is playing too high. They're playing safe. Gives us a numerical advantage. We take advantage of it. Great play design, great play, good work on first down to keep your opponent off balance. Again, if you're thinking to yourself, hey, James, South Carolina's defense has not been good this season. They're one of the bottom ones. Yes, we've already said that. I'm not going to say it on every single play, but this concept itself is very good. When you have this concept along with this situation with your hook defender, and you've got your 3-on-2 like this is always a good play. If you get this look, hit this every time. After a 2nd and 1 where we run it and get nowhere, at the start of this game, perhaps you're thinking, well, we're right back where we normally are on the road. QB sneak. The key to Florida's QB sneak game this season has been, in my opinion, Mazuka. Slaughter here also playing a nice game. for him. But Mazuka's really good at launching. If you watch him here, look at this motion. You can see that he's the first to get off the ball. He times it so well. They use him every single time to run behind him. Of course, other teams see this on film. They know that's where Florida wants to go. But as long as Mazuka times this well, he's got the momentum. He's going to create in here and bury this defender low enough so that we're able to get a push right there, win the battle at the line of scrimmage, and drive Florida across for an early and crucial first down, as you see Khalil Jackson signaling for. Florida in 12 personnel. Hansen here, tight end. Arliss here, tight end. Nice play design here from Florida. Teams know that they're focusing on Arliss. He's emerging as Florida's best tight end receiving threat, so let's take advantage of that with our route combinations on a 2nd down and 8. Motion Ricky across. You can tell they're not, right? And man, they're going to pass this off. Now we know we have zone. Let's beat this zone by sending Arliss out here. Bring a route across here. Play action there. Watch the eyes. Everyone sees. Okay, now he knows this is pass. I'm going to ID. First person coming into me. Our block right here. Deception, right? Florida's faking an outside zone over here. So we're locking up. Look at all these blocks. Selling outside zone. Sell outside zone. He thinks, okay, this is a run. I see that's a run. Let go. All right, now I'm after the quarterback. We know that Florida likes to roll out here. Florida has not put this concept out before, although we've seen Florida bring a tight end across on split zone. We've seen Florida even release tight end from here. Florida at a 12 personnel here now, throwing a different wrinkle. And this wrinkle is going to work very, very well, as all of these defenders are essentially going to flow back with the 2 routes they have entering their area, allowing Hansen to catch this ball wide open. Easy pitch and catch. 2nd and 8 turns into an easy first down for Florida. So the scheme and the play design, as well as the timing of the play calling, is leading to chunk and easy yards for Florida, something we had not seen on the road, or really in general as consistently as we're seeing it on this first drive. 2nd and goal. This is a dream look for Florida in this situation. Why is it a dream look? We have no one lined up over our center here, Slaughter. We're going to run a inside zone to the left. One-on-one, one-on-one. He's going to get to the next level here and seal one, and now you're up against the linebacker in the gap. Watch this play out. There he goes right away. Quick little touch here. Make sure we seal this to the inside. He's got his eyes up, identifying that he needs to get linebacker right here. This is ideal for Florida. Now you have ETN who can read this gap or this gap, and all he has to do is beat one defender here. Numerical advantage on the snap. Good blocking by Florida, and then you can see the gap that he chooses is this one right here. And he's got to win this battle. He's got to carry himself into the end zone, which he barely does. This play would be a call stance. Impossible to see if really he got in or didn't get in. Tie goes to the runner, I suppose, in this situation. However, for Florida, good pre-snap look for this play. Right now, you like what you see here if you're running this play to the left side. And it gets even better given that South Carolina does not play aggressively at the snap. They are not immediately firing downhill, in large part because they're off balance. Florida has already been passing the ball more than they expected, and at least more successfully, perhaps, than they expected. And that's allowing them to then dictate some tempo here and take an easy money run on 2nd and goal for an opening TD. Crucial 3rd down and 3 for Florida. We keep seeing this stat flashed up. Every broadcaster loves to do it. And since we play on ESPN most of the time, or some form of ESPN with SEC Nation Network, rather, or something like it, we get to see this every single time. It's a lot of fun. And there it is again. So will Florida pick this one up? Now, right now, pre-snap, if you've watched our film review, you are thinking we're going to run double slants because that's what we run a lot. And you're going to be correct. We are going to run double slants, but I love the wrinkle Florida adds here is we're not just going to run double slants. We're going to add in a nice little touch right here, again, out of 12 personnel. And we're just going to send Hansen right here because they know that teams have been robbing. We've seen this already on film. What do teams want to do on these situations for Florida? 3rd and 3, 4th and 3. They want to put an underneath defender here to rob this slant route because it's the one Mertz most often likes to go to. So Florida says, good, we'll put Arliss here, who you're probably going to look at. And we'll send Ricky out here, who we know you're going to look at. And we'll live with the idea that you're probably going to leave Hansen alone. And that is exactly what happens. Here's your safety here. Look at Florida flooding the scenario. Wide open receiver here. Hansen wide open here. Safety waiting to see what's going to happen. This is good play design, good execution. We have not seen this many wide open receivers on film for Florida all year long, and we're only in the beginning of the first quarter. This is what you want to see. Make this easy for your quarterback. You want your primary first read to be open. That means you're dialing things up as a play caller and play designer. Deliver this ball right to the side of Hansen as he does. We're off to the races, and it's chunk yardage on 3rd and 3. A welcome sight, obviously, for Florida fans and for Florida's offense and for the coaching staff being able to engineer easy yards here early in this football game. Now, if you're asking yourself, did Russ Callaway have something to do with this? Was this all Billy Napier? I have no information with regards to that. I'm just going to show you what the plays looked like and how it happened. And whoever was responsible for doing it, of course, gets all their credit within the walls of the football program. Could be Billy, could be some Russ, could be a combination of both. I don't know. But either way, good design right there leads to a first down for Florida. First down and 10, Florida going to take a shot here and not complete it. This is going to look perhaps more like what we've seen in the past from Florida with a 2-route combo, a hitch, a comeback route here from Ricky, and then we're sending Khalil over the top. Neither of them are open. They're taken care of. However, we have, in my opinion, not been taking advantage enough of our running backs coming out of the backfield. And in this case, we have the right idea, running what looks to be a wheel. However, I want you to watch ETN and the route that he runs here, because if this is in fact a wheel, you don't want to run this as though you're running a flat check down route. These are two different routes. If you're a running back and you're going to run into the flat and check down, you're kind of going to open yourself up here and look for the ball in this area. If you are running a wheel route, you are attempting to beat the defender assigned to you by running an actual route. You are going to haul A up the sideline, attempting to hit this for 6. Just focus here on 7. And I don't know what his role is here. Keep in mind, I do not know what the role is. But this play fake has worked nicely. We've sucked everyone in. We have the eyes of the defender assigned to ETN, looking into the backfield. This looks pretty promising. If nothing is here, this looks very promising. But again, focus on 7 as I roll the tape here. Focus on 7 as he turns the corner, right? Turns the corner. And now you see South Carolina changes up how they're defending this. So pre-snap, I showed you what looks to be the defender assigned to him here is going to be here. That's what it looks like right here. However, they're going to switch this up, and we are going to actually have here be assigned to ETN. Now, look, this is even better for Florida. He's recovering. Now, look, it's possible South Carolina gets their rules mixed up here. We can't know what their rules are if they want the safety to come down here in the box and if they want him to play this or not. Regardless, either way, either look looks promising pre-snap for Florida. What matters to me is ETN kind of running a flat route here. Notice how he opens up right here. He's wide open, a lot of space. He opens up here and he kind of just chills, puts his arm up like, hey, I am open. Look, I'm open. He's in full recovery mode knowing, I've given myself a lot of space. And, you can see Mertz is looking at him, but now ETN's not really running and he's running full speed. So kind of lost the opportunity for this. Mertz takes off, picks up a few yards. Now, look, I don't know what the play design is here. I'm just trying to tell you that I do think Florida has this. I think each week on film, we've talked about this already. If they send these running backs in the occasional full speed wheel here, this is probably a touchdown. And it's probably a very easy touchdown. Roll the film. Mertz opens up. He's going to read high to low. He's going to read primary. And I don't know which one's his primary, but let's say for kicks, he's going to read right here. He's going to read this side to this side to this side, right? 1, 2, 3. Let's assume that's the read window. 1, 2, 3. Snap to here. Now imagine that ETN has run full speed and we're not slowing down. He's probably already going to be up here when Mertz looks at him. And now he's got a 4-yard head start. And this is Florida, Georgia several years ago with Dan Mullen, where we were wheel routing their defender to death, whether it was going to be a safety or a linebacker, whoever's assigned to our running back. We murdered them. And this is what Florida could have done here. Very easy pitch and catch. Mertz looks at it again, but right now, ETN sort of run this like a flat route. So I show that to you to say, we're seeing it on film here. Florida's going to see this on film as well. I think they have opportunities in future games this year to take advantage of this situation. I think they have this, especially with ETN. Very good pass catcher, explosive guy to the backfield. They should have more opportunities to hit looks like this. Let's see if they take advantage of it in the games moving forward. All right, 3rd and 3 now for Florida. Everything bunched up tight in here. I don't love these looks in general for Florida, mainly because we have not done well with them on 3rd down. This concept here is sound. I like this concept. We talked about all film review long, all season long, Florida needing to do more complementary route running. And also, look at this. We're going to send 5 guys out. I want you to pay attention on this review how often we send 5 guys out into a route pattern. And these routes make sense. You have a quick flat ball here, which in my opinion is not the right ball for Mertz. He goes to this too quickly. Here's your first down line. Here's your defender waiting. Not the right move. I wish he'd be reading, and I don't know. Important. I don't know what his first read actually is. I'm going to say that. I'm just going to tell you I wish he were instead going to read the mesh first and then come to this for reasons that are quite obvious. If he's looking at the quarterback and we're looking here, we're probably going to move him over a little bit. Most importantly, if he is looking at the mesh window, although this mesh is not very well run with timing, you do see Arliss is running his route entirely to get in the way of this hook defender, which is going to leave Hansen open. Watch right here. He has a pocket. Mertz has a pocket. This defender does not matter for the throw coming in right here, which is where it should go. If Mertz stays in his pocket right here, look at this throw he has here. And stop it right there. Mertz has this ball right here into this window for an easy first down conversion, right? Very simple conversion. Instead, he goes, in my opinion, far too quickly into the flat, where now you have two defenders that are going to corral this play. And look, he might make this happen. He might. But this is 100%. If you complete this, that's a first down. If you complete this, it might not be a first down. So in this case, didn't love what happened here, although the concept did result in one player open here and also a second player open here by 2-on-1ing your hook defender with this mesh concept and sending 5 receivers out, spreading the field east, west, and vertically, which gave yourself a chance to 2-on-1 the hook defender. So I like the concept. We don't wind up executing correctly. We got a dropped pass here that may have led to a first down, and that's going to lead Florida to kick a field goal. Although I normally don't do this, let's give Trey Smack some love here because he made so many of these. Here's a 48-yarder to the uprights. I mean, just an absolute missile for a leg. He was the number 1 overall kicker. And look, if you're a guy who's already got 3 on your jersey, you're probably going to be a good kicker. I mean, he already has the number 3 on the back of his jersey, right? He's smacking 3 through the uprights. Great work there, 10-7, Florida. If you had shootout on your bingo card in the first quarter of this game, given Florida's road production, congratulations. Most of you probably did not. I certainly did not, even though, again, we knew South Carolina's defense was abysmal. Florida's offense is clicking. South Carolina's offense is clicking. Florida's defense, again, is not clicking on the road. Troubling thing. Of course, we cover that in the film review for them. But here is another concept we've talked about on this very film review. It's fun to get a reward. If you've been watching this film review for quite some time, you know that we've talked about some classic man route combinations that we had not been seeing since Billy Napier's time here, including last season, very often or at all. We saw it last week. We're seeing it again this week. Exact combinations you'd expect Florida to run versus man. These are classic combinations, right? These are combinations you see all the time on Saturdays and Sundays. If I'm drawing it up, it's not because I created it. I certainly did not. It's just things that you see happening all the time. And here's an example of one now. One of my all-time favorites, which is going to be the slant wheel combination, also one of Peyton Manning's all-time favorites. Now, Florida's not going to run this correctly. You're going to see it later in the game where we do run it correctly. Eugene Wilson gets a little bit too excited here, being a freshman, and he leaves this early. Ideally, you want to run behind the slanter, so Ricky's going to slant, and he wants to come right behind him, and then obviously rub his defender who is here in man. What you're going to see happen instead, Eugene gets too hyped, doesn't wait to time this correctly, and he just gets out of there. Well, now you've lost the effect of what you wanted, which is to come again underneath Ricky. Now, is it possible they wanted to do it this way? Sure, it's possible. Also highly unlikely because what you're really trying to get is the spacing. And if you're Eugene, what you're doing is you're waiting for Ricky. You can make your move here, but in reality, your job is to time up your burst to get right behind Ricky, typically right about here. Right behind Ricky, right about here. So again, Ricky's able to screen your man and giving you some separation. Good pocket here for Mertz. Good pocket. The predictable edge pressure. Teams love to employ this against Florida. They know we like to roll out to the right. Predictable edge pressure. And we're off to the races. Now, again, if we get a rub here, we're in good shape. But why do I love this route combination? Why is it something I think Florida should run? Well, one, this is a very easy read for a quarterback versus man. And two, these routes are helpful to each other. If they time this correctly, you might have 2 open receivers. But in the case that one of these guesses well, you might still have a second open receiver, which you have here on the slant route. And then I like that Florida's also running a nice one-on-one route up top here. We're also open here on this dig route. So Florida, good routes here. I like what they're doing. Combo on the bottom, simple dig route with Burke, who came back for Florida after being out for a while injury-wise. And this ball ultimately is underthrown, something we saw Mertz do quite a bit in this game, unfortunately. Ball is underthrown, doesn't get there, goes for an incomplete pass. But I show you because this concept is one that I welcome seeing on film for Florida. This will lead to successful completed passes. It will also make teams prep much harder versus Florida if they know they're going to play man and they know that Florida is going to use these complementary rub routes. It is going to make it much more dangerous for them in these situations. They have to cover the whole field vertically. They know Florida is going to challenge them vertically, and they know that stopping these route combinations is not easy, especially if Florida has its more explosive athletes on the field. So I like this design and concept. Execution not the best. We'll see what happens later on in the game. Check out this play design from Florida. This looks like something you'd see the Dolphins run on Sundays. We're going to have Eugene Wilson back here. Imagine he's your Tyreek Hill. And then here, you're going to have Montrell. We're going to motion Montrell out. South Carolina's in man defense, and this is why this is a great play design. The safety is now coming down to guard Montrell, who is covering Eugene Wilson, but the linebacker. This is what you want out of your play design. You want to get favorable matchups. More importantly, look at the beauty of this design. They're in man. It looks like we're going to run double slants, but in reality, we're going to get in the way here. Look at this. We're going to go here. Watch this. We're going to block. Now we're blocking. There's the assignment for Eugene. We're blocking. We're blocking. He's going to pick one of these two to block, right? We're in good shape. He's going to get all the way out here. Here's Montrell. They're man-to-man. That's perfect. Man-to-man, but you're going to get blocked. And now we trust our athlete to beat the one unblocked man in space. There we go. And look at that. Basically a first down from a first down with an extended handoff, all by play design. Take advantage of the defense's rules. If they're in man and you know you can get a favorable shift out of them and you get the favorable matchup, take that matchup, use a good play design, make it easy for your football team. Florida does that yet again right here. 2nd and 10, another good play design. Florida's not going to hit this one, but just look at a concept we have not seen Florida utilize before. First of all, we got 5 guys going out. Love it. That's awesome. Second of all, we're trying to get some traffic right here, right, with our running back coming out. It's Montrell, and then Wilson, who's trying to time this up to get a little rub. Watch how this works. You can see right here, we're trying to get a little rub here to free Eugene underneath. Hitch here for Montrell. Over the top, we had a clear out route, and then you had Frazier's coming across the field on an over. Multiple options. One thing you want to see on film are open receivers. Even if you don't hit them, you want to see open receivers. Up until last week, Florida had not had a lot of open receivers on film. This week, we have open receivers seemingly on every single play. Even if we don't get them, we're not going to hit this play here because Mazuka gets beat one-on-one. That's unfortunate. Beat one-on-one. If he does not get beat one-on-one right here, Florida has yet another chunk play in the air right here to a wide open Frazier's. Nobody is here. This is going to be a 40-yard plus play. We cleared this out with our go route. Nobody's here with Frazier's. We beat them with our design. And unfortunately, we lose a one-on-one battle up front with Mazuka, or this is another significant chunk play for Florida. Excellent stuff. If you're not going to get it, you want to see that your receiver's open, and you don't get it because a player doesn't execute. That means the scheme was solid. Execution was not. That's what you want as a coach. You'll live with that. 3rd and 10 now for Florida. This seemed like an impossible down and distance for most of this season for Florida. Like if we're at 3rd and 10, we are not going to get it. We're probably going to run it and punt or throw a soft screen or something like that. Not today. Montrell was out here. That's important. He motioned back in here, and South Carolina is confused. A lot of confusion here, as you can see. Safety's not looking at his players who are trying to coordinate. That is a formation shift, something South Carolina has not seen Florida have, which basically was like a bunch set here with Montrell out here. And that simple shift has now created what is going to happen here, which is Ricky getting a very favorable matchup on his over route right here. Favorable matchup, best case scenario, I believe that this is going to be a safety for South Carolina, but regardless, this is the matchup that you want. South Carolina safeties do not cover well. He's also going to get all these free release yards here with a backpedaling, ill-positioned, flat-footed safety, and we're taking the easy money here, and we're clearing this space out with a vertical here. So wonderful stuff, clean pocket, good job by the O-line. Now we just need to deliver a good ball. Huge window, win the one-on-one route. Ricky had a little outstep here to win that route. Easy win for Ricky. And we are moving the sticks down the field. Very nice stuff. 3rd down and 10, a conversion, an easy conversion. Love it. 3rd and 20 due to a bunch of errors from Florida's offense. So, Florida's still not perfect on offense, of course. Still a work in progress, still a rebuild. However, you know what we're doing here? Something I like. We're sending 5 guys out again, right? We've talked about how actually it can help clarify for your offensive line who to block and what to do if you actually do more of this. Spread the field east-west and then clear up the box here for your zone blockers and allow them to have some more one-on-one matchups so they don't have such a tight box where if a team is running a lot of simulated pressures, they can confuse who takes who. This is simple. Zone blocking here, going to fan out. 3-man rush. South Carolina on 3rd and 20, of course, is going to play safe. But I like Florida's mentality here. You need to get points, and Florida's going to take points here. This is the right time to try to gain some yards to get yourself in field goal range, and they're going to do so accordingly. Nice route combination. Why? Look at what South Carolina does. South Carolina thinks for sure Florida's going to run a slant because we've seen Florida do that a lot in the past, or potentially a screen. Instead, Florida is not. Easy hitch here right around the defender. Now, you've heard me slam hitches every day from Sunday, if that's even a saying, but really all the time. I don't like hitches in general, but there is a time to run them. If you're going to run them, this is what a hitch should look like. You love hitches in zone where you can run around a linebacker into a window. This is a nice way to execute a hitch. There's space. We can get a few yards after the catch here. This is what a successful hitch looks like. Right at the middle, primary receiver, get a few more yards and put us in field goal range on 3rd and 20. So yeah, you did some damage to yourself early on in that. However, you're going to recover, you're going to get some points, and it's going to be 3 for 3 with points on drives for the Gators. Let's give Trey Smack some more love here because on this particular field goal, he is going to make this with just 10 guys on the field. That's right, Florida's game-changing unit, their special teams, maligned all year, obviously played much better in this game. Once again, this ugly problem rears its head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But no worries, because that's not going to deter the Gators and Trey Smack. We've got 10. By the way, you can see that South Carolina is going to get a blocked kick later, executing something very similar to what you see right here. He's going to be the guy who gets the block, and they're going to load up right here and go through it, and there he goes, right through. You can see actually makes it through here, almost gets a hand on it. He is going to get a hand on it next time. So not great protection here from Florida, but Florida is down a man. But Trey Smack says, no worries. I've got 3 on the back of my jersey, and that is 3 more for the Gators with 10 men on special teams yet again. All right, 2nd and 7 now. Florida passing the ball well in this game, which is going to make things easier for the running game in theory. Although, again, Florida is not going to be too successful running the football in this game. In large part because can you blame South Carolina if they feel like Florida was not going to really pass the ball very well? No, you cannot. And so Florida was going to continue to do damage through the air. And right here, they are going to do some damage on the ground. The jet sweep, a play Florida loves to run. Inside zone coming right here is going to work because South Carolina is going to bring an edge pressure here. There it is. And that edge pressure is going to open up the window Florida wants here for the inside zone. Here's your unblocked man. Our goal right here is to do what? We want to double at the point of attack. He's going to pass this off, create just enough time to seal him to the inside, allow Slaughter to take him, and then we're going to work up to the next level. So Richie Leonard, work up to the next level, and then get a block here, and right here. There he goes. Get to the next level. Good block there, and then look at Khalil Jackson right here. You've got to be a willing blocker as a receiver. We're going to come out here. We're going to seal this off, and now we have the dream gap, right? The dream gap is right here. Great block here. Seal that. Get the second level here. Richie Leonard, get a block there. We're off to the races through the gap, and we are out. There goes ETN. Does not get touched until he's 20-plus yards down the field. Great play design. We've seen it before. Not as good of a play design if there's 8 guys in the box expecting you to run and they plug that up, but much better when your passing game is effective and they're off balance. So there's an example of a play we've seen Florida run countless times in the Billy Napier era, sometimes for solid yardage, sometimes for not solid yardage. Generally this year it's not been great, especially against even SEC-level teams, but it is here because South Carolina is off balance. And of course, they're also one of the worst rushing defenses in the country. 1st and 10 now for the Gators. 65 rushing yards already for Florida. Now, again, they're going to lose rushing yards at the end of the game. They really had around 100 or so. But you can see that Florida's going to really not get too many more after this standpoint. They are going to get a bunch more passing yards. But chalk this up to another play design that I love. I love this play design. On this channel, we talk a lot about 2-on-1ing defenders. We've talked about it through the history of this channel. It's my favorite way to attack defenses. And I think it's the best way to attack defenses in your passing game is if it's 2-on-1, the defender cannot be right. And as long as you can block things up, you will have success. First, play fake here to the outside zone run. Play fake there to the outside zone. We've got Trey coming across on this flat route. And now we're going to have our first 2-on-1. And our first 2-on-1 is going to be a high-low right here with Hansen. Here's your conflict defender. He cannot be right. He cannot cover both of these guys. He's going to be behind the play the whole way. He is 2-on-1. Roll out. He's 2-on-1. And that's not where we're going to go. But there you go. You can see he elected to stay back here, which means Mertz would have had a simple check down for probably 10 yards had he wanted to, but he's back here on Hansen. Secondarily, we have our second, which you're not going to see yet, 2-on-1, which occurred on this gentleman right here, who is now going to watch the rest of this play because we successfully 2-on-1'd him down the field. That's 2-on-1s, 2 high-lows, and then Khalil Jackson makes an absolutely filthy catch on a ball that, look, not an easy throw. You're rolling all the way out to your right. Mertz is excellent throwing out to the right. This could have been a better throw by him, but regardless, huge piece of chunk yardage for Florida. And this cheerleader gets it. She's like, what the heck is going on? This is not a team that's supposed to throw the ball on the field. I saw this film review last week. They had like 20-something air yards. I cannot believe this is going on. Well, believe it because this is a shocking game for the Gators and also a really good play design that you are thankfully going to get a replay of here in the TV broadcast. And here it is. And here is who we are 2-on-1ing. Look at the magic that occurs here. We're going to bring this route right here. Then Khalil's going to stem his route in, which he then thinks, no worries, I've got a safety in the middle of the field. I'm going to pass that route off. I'm actually not 2-on-1. There he goes, pass that off. Except, psych, it's the wrong number. We're going here, and we're not going here. So the safety off your screen is to the inside, thinking this route's coming to him. It's not coming to him, and now he's wide open. Now look, if the ball's thrown on time by Mertz, this ball actually gets out into the opening here much sooner. Mertz waits about a second too late to throw this football. This is open. Throw to grass. You're going to have a touchdown. He waits too long, and we still complete it, which we'll take, but you're going to see there's the safety right in big trail. So if the ball comes up when it should have come out, we are rolling in for 6. Instead, we're going to get this beautiful diving catch right here. Whoop! What a grab, right? For a huge piece of chunk yardage. Wonderful play design. 2-on-1 low, 2-on-1 high, both being high load. Good deception. Zone fake to the left, roll to the right. No one in your face. Time to throw. Big time play. Chunk yardage. All the things I love about offensive football on display in this game for Florida. Obviously, you can tell I'm stoked about it. I love offense. I love the passing game. I love throwing the football. And I love it when the design makes sense. And boy, is it making sense thus far. Second and goal, we saw this exact play, essentially, last week. Slightly different starting formation. Concept is exactly the same. We're going to run a crosser right here. He's going to actually have Hansen wide open, but as a quarterback, what you want to do here is read the mesh point. Your jet sweep's going to bring him down low. And you want to read your mesh. Open up right here, read your mesh. Obviously, Hansen is much slower than Khalil, but this is your mesh point. You should read both these defenders in one shot, and all you want to be thinking of here if you're Mertz and you're playing QB is where does he go and where does he go? And if his momentum goes this way and he's flat-footed, watch, and pause it, right? He's flat-footed, he's moving. As a QB, clean drop right here. You want to take this guy. Just put the ball out there to the A. That's 6. We're walking in the end zone. Very simple. This guy cannot turn and burn. Even though he is beat here, he's actually closer to being correct. Let's not go there. Mertz decides to go there instead of going here, which is a layup, right? That's just a poor decision in general. Let's not call it poor. Let's just call it suboptimal. But he does deliver a ball that's almost a strike. It's a good ball. A little behind him, but good enough. Nice secure the catch moment here by Jackson. So again, why do you want to rather throw to the right as a quarterback if you're Mertz watching this film review, which of course he did. He himself is going to think right here at the top of his drop, I should have waited a little longer to make sure I clarify my mesh point here and taken this ball. He's going to think that for sure, but he's going to be happy that his boy Khalil snagged this ball for him here in traffic and came down with 6. And Khalil's going to be happy that he got the ball instead of Hansen because he gets to do that right there. That's 4 for 4 now for Florida. 4 times they've had the ball, 4 scores, and we're in the second quarter. Again, if you had that on your bingo card, congratulations, you're probably the only one. Do we need to waste all of this creativity in one game? Hopefully this is just the beginning. This is like the appetizer course of what we're going to see from Florida's offense for the rest of the year because, man, it was like a different team out here from what we've seen in the Billy Napier era. An entirely different team. And look at this play. We're going to fake the jet sweep. Everyone in the world thinks they're definitely running the football. It's a 2-point conversion early in the game. And we're like, nah, check this out. We got ETN rolling back like he's Michael Vick out here. He looks like Michael Vick wearing 7, right? Just a little more stout, a little shorter, to a wide open Hansen, who's like, hey, man, I was wide open before. I'm wide open again. Look at this catch. I'll just wait. Fair catch that thing. Tutty. That's a tutty. 2-point conversion. What? Layup. Also, if you knew that ETN was left-handed and you had that on your Big O card, congratulations, because I was pretty surprised. But look at this. What a little play. What a little play right here. I'm shocked that more teams don't have more creative plays like this, by the way, with overtime rules being the way they are. I think you should have 5 or 6 different plays like this, where in college football, you can probably take advantage of athletes' natural tendencies to be like, hey, that guy can't throw, and use stuff like this to get wide open, easy points. And Florida, again, wide open, easy points. Let's go. 21-all. We're in a shootout. And what are we going to do? First down was a failed passing play. We got to run the ball here, right? Come on, this is what we've been doing. This is what Florida does. We run the ball on 2nd and 10, even though it looks like we have man again, a single high safety. We got to run the ball. That's what we do. It's our ethos, right? No. Instead, we're going to execute the same exact concept I showed you earlier. We're going to run the slant wheel route. This time we flipped the receiving roles. We're going to have Ricky running the wheel route instead. Florida is going to run this correctly, except there's your slant from Eugene Wilson. Eugene can carry this out a little bit more, I think. You're not allowed to block, but you do have a right to your path. So if this is perfect, if you run this perfectly, Ricky times this up. I think he should go a little deeper here. But I would teach, and I know Florida teaches this, right? Every coach does at the college level. You're teaching your receiver, it's not really about beating your man right here. This is actually not that important. What it's about is syncing up your move so that you get right underneath the rear end of your slant receiver. And notice this separation here. You don't want any separation. If you run this perfectly, you want to make him go over the top of this route where he potentially runs into his own guy. He stutters for a second and holds, but you don't want him to be able to either cleanly go through here or read the play early enough to jump it, right? You want him to be like, oh, surprise, here comes a slant route, and then you're right on his rear, and you're good. But see, what happens here is because we don't get this timing correct, we're not going to carry what we want, which means Ricky's now going to get held for a second here. We don't have a clean release. We don't have Eugene making contact, which is what you want. You want Trey to be able to run his route into him here. Florida was so close to having a huge play on this. In fact, they're probably a yard away, right? If Ricky takes us 1 yard deeper and we run right here, this is probably going to be a super easy throw and catch. Instead, we're going to lose that perfect work. And this ball is going to be thrown well by Mertz here. He's getting held, by the way, the entire time. This is also PI. He's holding on his left arm. Florida should have gotten something out of this, but instead they get nothing. But you know what I love? I love that it's 2nd down and 10. A team is in man, playing single high, and Florida says, great, we are going to take the optimal look in this situation. We are going to attack you. We're going to play aggressive, attack-oriented football using complementary combo routes. And when they clean some of this stuff up with their route running, this is going to be big-time yardage, and teams are going to have to rethink how they play Florida in these situations, which should make for easier pitches and catches down the road for Florida. But I love, love, love what I'm seeing on film here. Even if Florida has not been hitting some of these slant wheels, I love that they are there. They are the right thing to do in these situations. And again, just clean up some of what's happening with your route here. Get that correct, and then that should pay dividends. Florida, a sexy 3-5 on 3rd downs. Very different than we've seen in the past. They're not going to finish with a solid 3rd down number here. They're going to finish 5-14. But early on, we're loving that, right? And also we're loving the fact that it's 3rd down and 10. South Carolina says we're pulling out maybe the Engage 8 play out of Madden or NCAA football. For a lot of you that played that, you probably just spammed the Engage 8 and thought it's a great idea. I got 3 defenders here. But you know what we definitely have? We have the good old cover 0 on your screen. Let's draw a better 0. We have cover 0 right here. There is no safety. The ref is not a safety. We've seen this before, and we've seen Florida sort of just not want to do anything with it. Well, it's 3rd down and 10, and we're going to get a simulated pressure cover 0. South Carolina is saying, F it. We can't stop you. Let's try to throw something crazy at you and see what happens. Florida's not running the ball, and now we're going to, pull back here. This, by the way, to me, if I'm doing a defensive film breakdown, is so dumb. It's 3rd down and 10. You're simulating pressure. You're having 3 guys holding hands with each other that cannot possibly drop back far enough to get to where the first down is in time to stop any route you're running. This is colossally stupid play design, in my opinion. But that's just me, and we're going to take advantage of it for Florida because here's Burke, who's back in action. He's got a corner who's using outside leverage, who's already opened up. It's basically telling him, if you want to run this dig route, you can have it. I'm going to give it to you. I'm cool with that. We're all cool with that. And then here we go. Pivot route here from Trey. I love this one-on-one. Really good route here. Let's clear this out. Let's run this pivot route or whip out, if you want to call it that, right there. Very hard to stop like that. But more importantly, I love this route here from Burke. Get into him because you know that your job is not to just free release here. Your job is to make sure that once you turn this corner, there's a throw window for your quarterback right there. Get into him, open up, give your quarterback a nice throw window. There it is. Nice target. You can see on your screen. Nice target. Mertz just needs to deliver this ball. Good protection here from the offensive line. And then your 3 wasted guys who are just completely and utterly wasted in this play design. That ball is a little high, but what a snag here from Burke. And Florida moves the chains. So, again, dumb play design there by USC. But finally, Florida takes advantage of a cover 0 look and completes a pass. Let's go. What is happening? 3rd and 2, and sadly, all good things must come to an end. We've seen a lot of great stuff. And this play might work. Florida starts off what looks to be with a bunch set here on the right. So 3 by 1. Here's your 1. 3 by 1, like the formation, like what's happening on 3rd and 2. We've been passing the ball well. This motion by Trey, which we know is going to attract a lot of attention, is going to cause this safety to come down, him to come up. I love this concept on 3rd and 2, and I'll tell you why. This safety now, with his eyes facing this way, you know what he can't do? He can't pay any attention to what's going on here, which essentially gives you a cover 0 look if you snap the ball early, which Florida's done because he is no longer playing safety versus these 2 receivers, and you can run whatever route combination you want. This is obviously down the road where Florida wants to have a bunch of 5-star receivers that can cook anybody one-on-one, and now you're in trouble. If you do this, someone's winning vertically, and you have easy touchdowns, right? That's, Tyreek Hill of the Dolphins, or again, your favorite NFL receiver who's toasting people, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, etc. This is what happens when you get something like this. Now, Florida's not there yet, but I like this concept, and that's why. Good concept in this situation. Now, Florida's counting on trying to run here. They are running into a 7-man box, right? But they have equal numbers, essentially, to attempt to do this because this man is wasted. He's here, and he's here. So we're 7 on 7. Again, 3rd and 2, 7 and 7. You can argue that you can make this at short yardage. You can go for it. Florida has not done great with this year. And where we go wrong here is what happens here. Here is Slaughter, and here is Mazuka. It looks to me, I have to guess, I don't know the responsibilities, but it looks to me, based upon Florida's zone blocking responsibilities, that Mazuka initially should hold here before he works to the second level, right? Slaughter has no one lined up in front of him, so he's going to work here to the right, knowing that he's going to get held up for a second, that he'll eventually take him as he goes out here. Now, that's what should happen, in my opinion. It does not happen. Right away, Mazuka sort of just chips kind of quickly. Slaughter obviously cannot get there yet, right? Now, Slaughter has to try and hold him because it looks like what happens is both of them are wanting to work to the second level, right? Both of them look like they want to work. Slaughter right here has his head up. He looks like he wants to go second level and recognizes I got to hold this guy. I can't get there. Then Mazuka's like, I definitely got to stop now. Stop the bleeding. I can't go anywhere. And now he essentially has gotten into where we want to go, right? So ideally here, again, whether it's Mazuka or whether it's Slaughter sliding over and taking him and the Mazuka goes here, or Slaughter goes here and Mazuka steps inside, whatever it is wrong. If we get this block sealed up like we want to get blocked, then what you have here is a seal, and you go second level right here, block right here. Watch this play out. There you go. If we imagine he's not there and it's 3rd and 2, we can get here, and now we're coming out block, safety wasted, and we're coming in here. And we probably convert this and might even pick up a piece of chunk yardage, but this play ends because of that right there. Now we're stopped, nowhere to go, and this play looks like garbage. So we do not execute there on the offensive line. Does not work correctly, and South Carolina happy to get really their first stop of this football game. Florida not going to score points on this drive, and the first time we've seen Florida sort of go outside of that 3rd and 1 a little bit more conservative, but this call in and of itself, not a bad call, and in fact probably a pretty decent call, knowing that South Carolina's rotating down here, bringing edge pressure over here. Did not bring edge pressure over here. Florida could have hit this for a first down, but they do not. A stop by Florida's defense. We've got 1 minute and 24 seconds left on our own 45-yard line. Oftentimes we've seen Billy at Louisiana and last year with Florida sort of run the ball here and kind of see what's going to happen. But this was a different Florida football team on film, and let's see what's going to happen here. We've already seen this combination, which I love, by the way. I love having Trey and Ricky on the same side of the field versus teams that are going to play man. A lot of opportunities here for easy money. We're going to get Arliss motioning out. Again, Florida 2x2. Florida 2x2 right here. You're going to see the concept we're going to have here. Mert's going to relay the concept. Here's what we got. You ready? Cool. He's going to relay it here. Okay, awesome. And what that means for Florida is that you're going to get Trey just on a slant route, and we're going slot fade here to Ricky, right? We're going for a bomb on the slot fade. Let's execute. We want to make sure this corner stays down here with you. And one-on-one slot fade, a classic football route, an excellent route, giving your slot receiver tons of space here to the outside, giving your quarterback tons of space to deliver a ball. Really an ideal play call here. In this situation, Ricky wins. This ball is not thrown correctly. You obviously want right here. Look, Ricky has won this, right? In fact, he can't run with Ricky. This ball gets thrown correctly more to the inside. We're running underneath it. We're off to the races. Ricky makes an absolutely filthy and absurd adjustment. He's expecting the ball here. He's going to get it over here, over his shoulder. One more time. Look where his body's facing. He's coming on this tangent line. He's got a break now over here, over his shoulder. It's going to come over all the way here. Full arch back of the head, fingertip catch, and then secure it to the ground. I mean, that is pure filth from the guy wearing the number 1 jersey right here, who's put a lot of highlight stuff on film with his hands this season, and that is just disgusting. But I love the concept. Going with a slot fade route right there versus cover 1. Florida taking shots vertically when teams are playing cover 1, and they're taking shots with different route combinations that we've seen before. Billy's the guy who loves to throw the ball on the field. We've talked about this in previous seasons. We talked about it when Billy got hired here at Florida. He is a vertical passing guy, but oftentimes it hasn't looked like this with how Florida set up these attacks. And I welcome that. This has been great stuff so far in this film review. And you're not going to get all of them, right? But you're going to get some of them. And Florida here hits another one at a crucial time in a 21-21 game where when South Carolina had the football, they had a chance for what I like to call a 2 for none, where if they score with no time left, they get the ball back to start the second half, score again. This game could have been very different. Instead, Florida gets a stop, and now Florida's driving on their own with their own aggressive play calling. All right, minute 13. Let's probably slow things down here, bleed some time off. South Carolina only has 1 timeout. Perhaps a running play here. No, let's send 5 guys into the pattern again. We've also talked a lot about how Florida often has not used their running back to come out and even run these sort of halfback middle routes. But I like what Florida does here is they're going to send, rather than wait in the hole for this block, we're going to engage this, right? We're going to come strike this out here. Look at Etienne. He's going to strike this way out here. Give us a nice margin for error, so that way, if you do happen to miss, you sit right around here and you're available. Love this. More importantly, though, I love the concept here from Florida. We're going to get corner routes from your number 2 receivers, your slot receivers, and out routes here. Classic combination. I love this combination, especially given what you see on this side of the field. Look at what happens here. The dream situation. Flat-footed defender sliding out here to the flat. Essentially a blown assignment. Uh-oh, that's not my assignment. That's his assignment. We've got some serious issues here. Mertz IDs it. We're in golden shape. I just need to put this ball out here nice and deep for 6. That ball looks a little fluttery. That's because it is fluttery. Look at that thing. You see that ball facing upwards? That is not good. You see Khalil now covered up by number 3, which he would not have been. He had to come down here flat, make an adjustment. There we go. You see a nice push off from 3. See you later. And then a chance to make a pick, which is in his fingertips. And ultimately, it's going to be pass interference. Didn't really look that bad, by the way, on film for pass interference. They were battling for the football. But this is going to be a touchdown, and Beamer, by the way, was totally right. In this game, he did call for this ball to be tipped. If it's tipped, it's not pass interference, and he is right. This ball is tipped right here. That ball's tipped right there. You saw me freeze it in the frame when the ball's facing. I mean, you can watch this. Look at this thing ducking around out here, right? I mean, that is a duck of a ball. It's facing like a, I mean, that's not good. It is tipped. And if it wasn't tipped, it's going to be a touchdown because this ball is supposed to be thrown vertically. He's not running this. He should not be running this so shallow. And if he is, that's a problem for Florida. But he should be reading this based upon dropping defender and then taking this more vertically. And ideally, this ball wants to be thrown about here. And I'm pretty sure that's where Mertz is going. And if it is where he's going, this safety can't do anything. It's 6 for Florida on 2 plays, coming out, getting the ball on their own 40-yard line. As it stands, aggressively taking a shot leads to a pass interference call that's incorrect. Florida will take it, and they'll move the sticks. So that tipped ball was costly. Instead of Florida having a touchdown, we are at 3rd and 15. Some self-inflicted wounds here. We're going backwards, not looking promising. Probably just run the ball, right? Run the ball and kick a field goal here. Instead, I like what Florida does. Let's get the ball to our best and most explosive player on offense. If you're going to throw short, put it in that guy's hands and see what happens. Little wide receiver screen under right here. I like the design. Let's get a block here. Let's come out here for Slaughter. Let's get a block here and a block here. And at least let him get some free release. And look, he's got to beat 1 or maybe 2 of these guys. But let's give him a shot to do it. There it is. This guy makes a really nice play to get past Mazuka. Mazuka doesn't get him, but Trey's fast enough to come around this just at the point of attack. The only problem with this is we got to deviate some here because if we got a clean block, then we can work up here, but we don't. Regardless, we're out, and now it's going to be up to him, right? He's got, really 3 guys to beat here. First down marker's way up here, but you just never know. Let's make a move and see what happens. And he almost, right? If we don't get hogtied right here, that's a touchdown. If we don't get hogtied, if he slips through this and does not get hogtied here, keeps his balance, he might score. I like that. Either way, it becomes an easy field goal, and Florida's going to make that field goal, as you're going to see, because I'm going to show you all of Smack's field goals, and we're going to go up 24-21. And here is the field goal. 11 guys in the field this time. South Carolina is exploring different ways to try to block kicks from Florida. This time they're going to slide their pressure point over here. Even though they were close last time, they're going to change where they go for it this time. And there it is. There's number 10. Keep an eye on him. He's going to be important later. And smack right through the uprights. 24-21 Florida at halftime. Florida's defense executing a little bend but don't break right in the red zone leads to a 24-24 tie. And this is Trey back as a running back. I like the creativity from Florida here. Let's find a way to get him the ball. It's going to change how defenses play us. It's going to allow us down the road to pitch fake this and roll out here and hit a home run. Pay attention for that later this season. I promise you this exact scenario is going to happen where we fake this and roll out here. I will bet money on it. Here we go. Trey, now to the outside. And this is a nice design, right? Here comes George. He's going to come out here along with Montrell. So we have 2 blockers flying through. It's basically running as a counter run would run, as a gap counter run would work. It's going to function like that. There's 1 through. Let's kick him out. Same rules. And then let's look here. Boom, engage right there on the linebacker. Shoot him through this gap, which we do. By the way, take a look at Montrell. How about knocking a linebacker sideways, right? Look at Montrell right here. Look at Montrell. Let's give Montrell some love. Wham! Hit stick. Get on the ground, 5-2. That's good stuff from your running back right there. Physical football. And then Trey goes for the hurdle mode. Gets it and picks up again. 9 yards on first down. Successful first down play. 2nd and 1, a slight change from something we've seen Florida put on film a ton this season. A lot of times with Ricky. This time with Trey, we're going to get the jet sweep. It's not going to go to him. We're going to get the 2-man route combination that goes vertical. We talked about this last year, right from the beginning of the season. I've talked about it on the Billy Napier, Louisiana film before he came here, that if you want to have success with 2-man routes, and teams are going to continually drop 4 or 5 guys back, taking away your deep ball, you have to be able to hit this check down on time. And ideally, this check down starts closer to the line of scrimmage, and you run this play on a down like this one. Watch how this plays out for Florida. Oftentimes we have seen the jet sweeper sort of just stay kind of here, like just kind of open up and kind of sit there. But instead, something we actually talked about on last week's film review for Florida is how to ideally run what I like to call a pop route, is to open your shoulders just like you see Trey do here, face kind of this way, and that way Mertz can throw him into this window and he's able to never slow down. He's not going to face backwards where he has to run a hitch and he slows down, and he's not going to stand back here where once he catches it, he has no momentum. Allow yourself to throw him into his momentum. Watch this. There you go. And now he's able to catch and already athletically get forward. Very well timed. Right on time. You're going to see tons of space here. Why? Because everyone fell back. Again, Ricky putting great stuff on film, right? Really good stuff these past few games from him. Quickly engage the block on this, which he does. That's going to spring Trey for more yards. We're off to the races. Big pickup on second down and one for basically a handoff. That's basically a handoff. Again, that's good football. If you put that on film enough, you know what happens in the future? Is they're going to have to keep a guy down here for this. And if they do that, then your route combinations here, if you clear that out and bring this over, are going to start to work. 1st and 10, and again, it's like all the creativity came flying out of Gainesville this week. Like they got together in a room and said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go nuts with the creativity. We're going to be multiple on offense. We're in a bunch of different formations, a bunch of different players in different places, and just go nuts, like max innovation. And I'm here for it. This is Trey. Again, being used in every possible way. This is Trey, and this is South Carolina thinking, oh man, they are running the football. Here we go. Florida's going to get man on the edge, man right here. This is Mertz. They're kind of like, hey man, should I cover Mertz? Like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Florida's sideline. Like, is there something secret over here? Can I read like what someone's doing? Like, I don't really know like what's happening. This is Mertz, but okay, cool. I guess I'll kind of pay attention. Ball gets snapped. We're going to run a go route here, and we're going to run a deep post route here. Now, I like these combinations for the reasons I'm going to tell you in a second. Here's your safety. The deep post is going to keep the safety engaged. It's also going to keep this dropping corner engaged, and that's important because no one is covering Trey. Nobody, right? No one is covering Trey. This is like an easy money, massive play, probably a touchdown because Trey's going to probably take this ball, run to the middle of the speed, and score. Either way, he's going to gain at least 30 yards. I wish that Mertz gets this ball off. In my opinion, Mertz should get this ball off to Trey. Just get it out, right? Right here, the ball's in your hands. Now you're gripping it. You have it. Just jump in the air. Do whatever it takes. Just get this ball to him. Nobody is within 20 yards of him. I mean, you could lollipop it up there and it's going to get there. There's no linebacker anywhere. There's nobody here. It's a huge play, and I think Mertz is trying to throw this ball to him. I certainly hope he is. I don't think he's trying to throw it straight over here. He gets his left leg grabbed right here, and when it happens, he's unable to turn his shoulders. He loses control of the ball, and it goes way over there. He is so unbelievably open. But more importantly, this play design is great. Good creativity. I love this little reverse to Mertz. I also love that if you have a lot of time, you have that deep vertical post or this ball here. And if they bring one guy down here, one of those options is one-on-one. I love it. And if they sink back, you have the easiest throw ever for 30 yards. So are guys wide open? Yes, they are. Right? Love, love, love. Don't execute here, unfortunately. That's a bummer because, again, we are like literally riding. We're riding to the box right there. Like we're gone. We're riding to the box. Of course, natural grounding gets called, which is frustrating, a bummer. And there we are. However, missed opportunity. But again, another play call leading to another huge chunk play. Florida does not execute it, but it's there on film, there for the taking. Another third and super long. Look, Florida had issues in this game. Not everything was obviously perfect. We're seeing this third down number go down. It's 4 for 8, about to be 4 for 9. It is the third quarter. We've seen Florida struggle immensely in the second half of football games with their offense, and they do not have that luxury as we are in a high-scoring Arena League football game here at 24-24. We need to go. Maybe we're going to hand this ball off again and punt and get out of here. We're on the plus side. Maybe we're going to try to do, I don't know what. Let's see. Look, Florida's going to get aggressive here. We're going to send a deep hitch here, vertical route here that Ricky's going to get hammered on, which I think he's going to run a hitch or perhaps a dig. Vertical route here over the top, which can be your first down ball. If that's there, you like that, though. The safety sits anywhere else, you take it. And then out here. So I like the combinations Florida's taking. They're going to give themselves a chance to actually get to the sticks on 3rd and 21, or at least get half of it and getting into Trace Mack field goal range. None of these routes pan out to be open right away. We have a lot of time here. I think Mertz is doing the right thing in this situation. As a quarterback, nothing works for you here. You're out of time. Take your check down. I also think on 3rd and 21, he could, if he wants to in this situation, or we're going to see him do this later in the game, he can have a little bit more of a let me make a play mentality. This is not wrong, by the way. Again, this is textbook. This is like the textbook right thing to do every single day of the week. But as Florida's offense grows into itself perhaps this season, at least we can maybe hope it does, or Florida plays much better defenses, sometimes you might need to attempt to take a chance here and try to extend the play because you're going to have to score. And again, we're going to see him do that later. Here he's going to take the safe play, which is the check down. I have no problem with this, just kind of talking about mentality, gameplay, what may happen later. Take a check down right here. We're off to the races with Montrell, and we're going to get right into basically Trey smack field goal range. We're right there on the 37. He certainly can hit this, and it will be decision time for Billy. And thanks to that 5 route play that we saw, halfback middle route, stuck on the numbers, we get a chance for this Trey smack Butte. And bingo, there he is. Again, 3 on the back of the jersey, 3 through the uprights. Easy money for Trey. 3 for 3 on the day. Every single one of those field goals is going to matter immensely for Florida. This was a play that you may have seen Coach Beamer for South Carolina sort of rant about the frustration with the defense and how they had a lot of good plays called. And he said on this one we had a double edge pressure where Florida runs a reverse, which is basically the perfect play that you want to run versus a reverse. And here's your edge pressure, here's your edge pressure. They're essentially sitting on this play, and he's not wrong, right? I mean, he's not wrong. This play is in trouble. But this is why you want to have playmakers back here, and especially in college football, even in the NFL. You give yourself a chance to take a play that you're going to lose a whole lot of yards on 1st and 10, and you're going to look pretty foolish for, and he's going to bail you out. There's one, and don't worry, there's a second one waiting for him because, again, double edge pressure, and there's 2. So, yes, that is why Shane Beamer is ranting when the media asks him, hey, man, what's up with your defense? Florida's offense is trash. Like, how in the world did you let this happen? He's like, well, look, here's 25 things that happen. Here's one of them, double edge pressure reverse, and we miss, and we miss. And now Florida has a first down. Now, look, this happens in college football all the time, right? We've seen Florida's defense do this in this game. We saw them do it versus Kentucky, where you have routine chances to make plays, and they changed football games. They truly do change football games. It's why ultimately, as much as I love all the complicated X's and O's of football, basic blocking and tackling will get you a lot of wins in football. If you can actually execute the basics of it and you can put that guy down, if Florida gets tackled there, it's going to be 2nd and 15. Instead, it's a first down and a high energy play for an athlete for Florida who takes something out of nothing. 2nd and 4, Florida's going to try to hit a home run here. And you know what? I love it. I'm here for it. I love it. The only problem is Florida's going to be let down by their right tackle here, George, and their left tackle, Barber. Not great when both of your tackles are going to let you down here, but it happens. Florida's O-line, again, not a great offensive line. You kind of survive them, even versus a subpar defense like South Carolina. And Florida's going to get a dream situation here as everyone's going to come down into the box for a run. And Florida's one-on-one, actually, right here. One-on-one, no safety help, nothing left. Watch it bail out. There you go. That's what you get. You got an over route here, and you've got Ricky running an out and up. And that's where they're going. They're trying to hit a home run with an out and up to Ricky. Mertz, play fake, right? Split zone. There's your split zone. Play faking right here. Roll out, and now we're in trouble. And why are we in trouble? We shouldn't be in trouble. We should definitely be sealed up here. And if we are sealed up here, we're going to set here, and then we're going to try to stick this out and up. Unfortunately for us, we have an issue. And that's going to be first George right here who's going to get punked. That's what getting punked looks like when you're facing this way and the guy is running to where your quarterback is going. That is getting punked. And now you're going to hold on to his jersey because what else can you do? And you're going to just stand there like, hey, man, I didn't hang it. Look at me. Don't look at anything. I did not hold his jersey and my quarterback's about to die. Don't look at me. Oh, my bad. Now, look, this happens to all O-linemen here. We're not picking on George. That's just what happened. He gets punked there. And then Barber gets speed rushed here. Here's Barber on the bottom, right? He knows he's got an outside guy. He's way outside of him. He needs to step back here, meet him at the point. Doesn't get back in time, gets speed rushed and beat. And obviously, Mertz is trying to set up deep here, so this is the spot. This would not be a problem if Mertz was going to sit here in the pocket. He's not. And we're going to meet at the middle there and get a nice, sweet sack. So Florida gets very aggressive on 2nd and 4, does not protect, and therefore this leads to a significant loss. But I like the design. Florida's not trying to hit just a go route and an over route there. They're going for a double move out and up. I've been calling for double moves for a while. When they run them, I'm going to love it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Here, you did not execute with your line, and you take an L. Yet another 3rd and long. Now, look, we have not seen Florida run all hitches yet. Here's Trey coming back into the backfield, trying to create some space, and you're going to see all hitches now. So if you've been waiting for this, you've been like, where have the all hitches been? Well, don't worry, I've got them for you. Hitch, hitch, and hitch. All hitches, and then Trey sitting out here in the flat on 3rd and 14. Maybe that's a good idea. Could be. I think all in all, right here's where the ball should have gone, right? Just like we saw, put him right here to the 30-yard line and see what he can do. He's going to have 1 and 2 guys coming at him. He might not get there. This throw, though, actually winds up being a good throw. This is a very difficult throw. That's why I said let's take our chances with him and him versus Trey. A lot of space in the open field because this throw requires perfection. And truly, he basically did it. Like, this ball is very catchable. It's a catchable ball. He throws it right over a dropping defender. Absolute dime by Mertz here, in my opinion. Right through Arliss's hands, who's had some difficulty with the high balls. Seems to be something you should probably get out there with the jugs machine and catch about 1,000 of these this week in practice. The high balls have eluded him some. There it is. And Florida fortunate not to have a safety picking this off and going the other way on 3rd and 14. Again, risky pass into traffic there. I think if Mertz takes that back, although he acknowledges this is an absolute cold dime, really with the guy right in front of your receiver, let's just take this and see what happens. Let's take that and see what happens. But I like that Florida does have 5 eligible receivers here again, right? There you go. So we have options. We have ways to try to convert the first down here. We're spreading the field out. Ultimately, though, all these hitches are, in fact, covered perfectly. And this is not surprising, as, again, Florida would do well to not run hitches probably ever again this season, as every single team is basically ready for this concept. South Carolina was ready. Florida gets fortunate not for a pick there, and they do not convert. So the 3rd down conversions are going the way they have typically gone in second halves for Florida here, as Florida, again, behind the sticks, cannot convert. 1st and 10, Florida now down in the fourth quarter, 31-27. We got 2 receivers here. This looks like we're probably going to sit in 12 personnel and run the ball. South Carolina definitely thinks so. How often have we seen this situation where there are 8 guys in the box and Florida just runs? We're tight. It's late in the game, and this is a different Florida team. Why do that when instead we got cover 1? They know with safety can't help. We're just going to run a go route. I love it. Let's do it. Let's stick it in here on 1st down. Let's not play scared. We're on the road. Sling. Mertz, it's a pretty decent ball here, actually. It could be a little better, but he does get tackled before he gets a chance to go for it, so it looks worse than it is. And somehow Shane Beamer is over here going nuts as though that's, like, okay, because he knows it's not okay, right? He knows right now that, like, what's not okay? That's not okay. And he's upset. He's clapping. He's doing all he can to not get the flag, and then, of course, there's an instant flag. So for Florida, we're good, and then he calms down because he knows he's wrong. The campaigning didn't work. But this is one reason why you take shots when it's 1st down and 10 like this, is 1, it's hard for corners to cover this kind of play. You might get a catch. You might also get a pass interference, but also you are putting South Carolina in a choice scenario next time. Do they want to do this again? Do they want to maybe put another guy out here and then that makes running more favorable? Do they want to play zone instead of man? I mean, you are punishing them time and time again if they're going to play this aggressively, something we've asked Florida to answer that question on by being more aggressive vertical passing, and you are seeing it in spades in this game. What's really fun about watching film, with or without the All-22, again, I have the All-22, I can't show you the All-22, which is the coach's film I wish I could. It's certainly far more instructive, but in this play, you don't need it because you can see everything you need to see. But what's really instructive about it is how teams are going to play you in crunch time. South Carolina is absolutely assuming Florida is going to go back to their tendencies. It's 1st down and 10. They are expecting Florida to run the football here, and they are loading up corner blitz to bring an edge pressure in here. We have got 8 guys in the box again, and all of them are playing run fit, edge pressure, run fit, run fit. They're going to bottle this play up entirely. This play is dead. The inside zone play is dead. There is absolutely nowhere to go. We've filled this. The only problem is we've lost the edge. Nice job here by Arliss. His job is to actually keep him blocked this way because we're trying to run through this gap. But as the play goes on, he then tries to take that gap, which he does. The only problem for him is he's the edge defender. So by moving himself into that gap, Arliss stays on his block and now walls him in, which is awesome. And now we have Barber who's working free over here, and he's going to wall him in. Excellent second-level blocking here as this play gets bounced out. And now we take a play that's not going to work. We get Ricky coming up here to block as well. And there we go. Something out of nothing. That play was bottled up by South Carolina, expected by South Carolina, stopped by South Carolina. But if you do not set the edge and stick the edge as a defense, you will pay. And South Carolina pays right here. 8 in the box here for South Carolina. 1st and 10. They're still thinking they're going to play their tendencies. Here's an orbit motion from Florida. We're going to run, and we are going to run here, and this is going to be great because if I'm doing a South Carolina defensive breakdown, this is extra painful. I'm going to show you why. Once again, this play is dead. Edge controlled, gap controlled, edge controlled out here. Like, game over, we're dead. Guy running free. Guy running free through the gap. Bye-bye. Now let's pause. This guy is in the gap that Montrell is about to run through. He's in it. He's standing in the way. The only problem is he does not recognize as he sprinted to the gap that Montrell has the ball, as he actually thinks maybe Ricky has the ball. One more time. Downhill. I want you to focus on this guy right here. Downhill. And he's going to look for a second. He looks right here. Watch his helmet. He's kind of looking here for a sec, and then he looks here. And then watch the comedy. Wait for it. Watch the birdie. I'm going to pause it Wait. Right there. Helmet's there. Montrell's literally right next to him. He is standing in the gap that Montrell wants to go into. Montrell's in trouble. And now, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. He's now trying to turn his head only to see Montrell run past him. And wait for it. Oh. There's the arm swipe. There's the drive-by. That's pain. Not for Florida, South Carolina. It's also comedy because he's unblocked through the exact gap that he's trying to cut back into. And whoop. Uh-oh. Follow the birdie. Thank you very much. And nothing becomes something. First down, basically, for Florida, thanks to that little move in the hole with an unblocked South Carolina defender in the gap there to make the play, and they don't make the play. And again, that's what really low-ranked defenses do when it comes to running defense success rate. They do stuff like that. But Florida takes advantage here. We'll take it late in the game, down 4. If you keep playing with fire, eventually you are going to get burned. Now, this set looks very familiar. Florida bunching everything in. These sets have not been successful for Florida in general. We're going to run a little motion with Arliss, and then we're going to try to get out here. So rather than run a split zone on the snap where the ball is snapped and then he comes through here, we're trying to signal we might run a pass here and motion him across and then get the block here. So kind of a home run hitter. Get a block here, get a block here. The only problem is right out of the gate, we're going to get an A-gap pressure through Mazuka. He's going to miss this, and that is a serious problem. Again, Mazuka. And Florida has issues with this. Like, the multiple times we see where Mazuka's trying to get to the second level, and it's not just him, but on this film it's him. He's so diligently trying to get to the second level, he's not doing anything about the first level. You got to do first level before you get to the second level, and he just lets him go, thinking, no worries, I'm working up here, check me out. And now we're dead. I mean, he's going to kill the play right here. There's a tackle, and we're down. So look, South Carolina's a bad enough team that you can run on them even when numbers are favorable, especially if you use a little deception here like Florida's doing, giving him a two-way play, right? This is a two-way gap play here. If he gets passed off, he can go here or he can go here. So good play design, but we miss our assignment, and that leads to a loss on the play. 3rd and 5 now for Florida. Crucial conversion. You saw that ESPN or SEC Network there highlights Ricky, and they are correct to do so. Florida's going to run a mesh concept here, which is really just eye candy to keep everyone underneath, which works. And Ricky gets to work one-on-one versus the same guy we saw him beat easily before for a first down. And he's going to run a corner route this time. He does not beat him as easily this time, but there's no doubt Mertz is going there. There's a window. There's plenty of space. So this football here to the sideline and complete this, but we got problems. And the problem is going to be with a pass rusher in his face right here. One more time. Let's look at what happens here. Barber, all right, he's working. He notices, okay, no one's here. Let me then look this way. That's correct. Arliss does his job, right? Okay, now if you're Barber, he's thinking, I got to help here. I got Arliss one-on-one versus their best rusher. I need to help. But the reality is you can't help because in this particular play, right, Florida, count the drop right here, taking a 5-step drop, trying to hit this play to Ricky. So he knows his drop points here. Any rush that goes up to the edge, Barber can come help here on the outside. The only problem is Florida does not. Now we're in trouble, right? We're not passing anything off. We got one here. We're basically lost our little our zone wall. Barber is now looking at Mertz, and he knows that's probably not good. He opens up like, hey, maybe you can throw me a pass. Check me out. I'm here. Except we're in trouble, right? So Mertz is loading up right now. You think he's going here, but I think in all actuality he's going over the top to Ricky. This play is dead. There's nowhere to go. He's going to Ricky. That's where the play is designed. Unfortunately, they move him off the spot first off the spot, and then second, if we're good and we lock this up, he's got the throw. We don't. O-line does not protect as we need them to, and that's a big play in this game. Big play in this game. Florida now has to opt for a field goal. And as we've showed you before, number 10 right here, the same look we've seen before. They're going to heavy load Florida's left side. Florida's going to have George protecting in this area here, and he is going to be the man that gets beat when the ball is snapped. He missed times his blocking step, and that's going to lead him to kind of the flail right there. Now, one arm is not going to be enough to stop a guy who's trying to shoot through this gap. You got to just hold him up only really a little bit. A little bit's all you need here, and that's enough. He holds him up basically not at all. You can see now he almost got one earlier. He gets a better launch angle into the window. This ball looks like Smack hit it right through the uprights again, by the way. We will never know. But this is not on Smack, not on the hold. It's on the protection on the left side. We saw South kind of probing for it. And this field goal block was actually significant at this point in time in the game. A significant block here. All points mattered. This is going to wind up being all for naught. To me, this should not be Smack's first miss. I'm not going to count this as Smack's first miss, and why would you? It's not his fault. He didn't let this guy in. He didn't miss the kick. It gets blocked by a guy standing in the backfield. So as far as I'm concerned, he has still made all of his kicks as a Gator, but a big block there for South Carolina, and then the momentum now is firmly in South Carolina's favor. Fourth quarter, 1st and 10, Florida seemingly on the ropes, and in fact, look at the time. Maybe an ominous sign. Time to dial 911 on maybe Florida's season if we lose this game on the road again, given the schedule that we have coming up, right? Things don't look good. What is Florida going to do in this situation as South Carolina, again, loading the box still? Look at this. This is kind of nuts at this stage of the game. They're still thinking Florida's going to run the ball, and Florida's going to get cover one man, something we've seen teams do time and time again. What are they going to do? We're going to run a play action, and we are going to make the wrong decision here by Mertz, in my opinion. He IDs the safety, who's actually already sliding over here to the go route we're going to throw, but he should run. This is a nice little corner post here by Ricky. He knows he's going to double move here. It's a matchup that's favorable. He got to look there and stay with that. Instead, he opens up to go, and there you go, and you can see Ricky open up wide open here. He's going to take a shot, which is not ideal, right? Why? Look at the safety. When you see this on TV, as soon as the ball goes up and you can see the safety's here, that means he's definitely not here. And again, that's the play design, is he's going to run with the deepest route, and that's going to leave this here. We're taking a shot over the top. This ball's going to be underthrown. Close, almost there. Slightly underthrown, make a play on it. Florida, again, probably fortunate here, throwing into traffic. That ball is incomplete. And so Florida dodges a bullet on 1st down. But one thing we do see is Florida's maintaining aggression on 1st and 10. We come out throwing the football. Cover one man, we're throwing the football. 2nd and 10. South Carolina, again, going to show Florida's passing game just absolutely no respect in this game. They're going to bring a nickel blitz. Of course, no one is here. Look, in the future, we'd like to see Florida get better at hot routing this stuff and sticking this in here. It's a safety. It's Trey. Just get on the rock. But we're going to run the prescribed play, and that's going to be just fine. Here comes Hanson on a hitch right here. We're in man. This is a nice route combo, and he's going to come to the inside. Make sure this guy can't interfere. Make sure he's not in the way with the play. There he is. Just sit down right here. Allow this window to be nice and big, which we have. Easy pitch and catch. Wide open receiver. Move the sticks. Nice concept. Nice play. First read open. Success. A false start on Florida makes it 3rd and 11. This is not ideal. We're down 10. A lot of Florida fans probably thought this is it. We're going down right here. Not looking good. Play call by Florida. Love the set. We saw this before. Actually, earlier I had showed you we motioned our running back in. Now we keep him out here, so we're going to use this later in the game because of what we saw. And what we saw is going to work, by the way. This is going to work. Keep a corner out here. And what's going to happen here is Florida, look, he knows he's got way off coverage here, right? Way off coverage here. But what he also should be reading is if you're going to have off coverage doesn't move, a slant route is actually not ideal. It's 3rd and 11. He's not moving back at all. So if I'm quarterbacking here, I want to open up and I want to see what he does. If he stands completely flat-footed, my slant is no good because I'm going to throw it right into him like this. Here he comes. Launch point forward. Wham. That's not going to be good. It's 3 yards. I get my guy killed. That is not the route I'm looking for, right? So instead, what should happen here, in my opinion, open up your Mertz, ID your read. If he stands flat-footed, get off of that. That's not where you want to go. And the timing for this is right where you want to go next is to your next route, which is right here, which is absolute money because Florida, thanks to this play design of sending 5 guys out again, is 3-on-2 right here in the middle of the field. We are 3-on-2. 3 guys, 2 defenders, and these 2 defenders both come over here. Here's Trey. Here we are here, and they leave Ricky completely naked. He's completely by himself. He is absolutely wide open. The safety exits over here. He's going to catch this ball and probably get a first down on 3rd and 11 with an easy hitch route. Instead, we go early there. Look, there's Ricky. Early there. Stick, incomplete pass, and you can see Ricky jumping up and down, knowing he's the guy who needs to be getting the ball there. We don't get it, and he looks to the sideline for help. Guys, please help me. I'm open. We're in trouble. 4th and 11. 4th and 11, game on the line on the road. It looks like 2-3 South Carolina is about to become 3-3. Florida 4 of 11, 36% on 4th down. Florida, one of the lower success rate teams on passing downs, and this is a long one here. What are we going to do? We're going to motion in Arliss. This is what we're going to get. Arliss is really a check down. He's behind the line of scrimmage. We're already very far away. Here's what we have to get to. Ricky, however, is going to have a dream matchup thanks to this motion. Ricky's now going to get matched up on a dropping linebacker. Dropping linebacker, one-on-one, right there. Mertz right away. His main read is this route here. There he is. He's going to check this vertical route. Doesn't like it. Now gets a little bit happy-feeted, as he should, in my opinion. Next, look to Ricky, because these routes are really shallow check-down routes. These are all safety routes. You had a vertical route there. You have Ricky going into that vertical space, which is a good concept. Quick read for the quarterback. Read vertical, read here, go check down, go check down. Instead, he is going to look and immediately go check down. Why does he do this? Because he feels, I think in his sight window here, he sees this pressure, and there is nobody here. Look, no one is here. Once again, Florida messes this up, right? Mazuka needs to get his head around faster. Simple twist here. Coming across. Mazuka, too long. This is only one guy here. Get your head around. Fill the gap. Get your head around. You're late to the party. And we're going to get a little chuck there, but that moves him off the spot. And because of that, Ricky is wide open. Ricky is wide open for the first down. You can't see him. He's not here, but he's open. He's the guy. If we block this up correctly, Mertz stands right here and delivers a strike. But we get pressure right in his face. He feels like that's not going to work. I don't have time for that. All I can do on 4th and 11 is throw a check down 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. This is not good. This is not good at all. And now you have an oncoming defender, which should easily be able to at least slow down Arliss. And he's going to break down here. And he's going to get a whole lot of nothing. Not a slowdown there. He would have probably pulled his flag if it were flag football, but it's not. It's tackle football. And what's really great, and you guys can't see this, is this guy right here on the coaching staff of South Carolina. As soon as Florida threw this ball right now, he actually had his right arm up in the air as though the game was over. Sort of a celebratory, it's over. And as soon, you can't see this either, as soon as Arliss catches the ball, and right now off your screen, right there, he puts his arm down. Now, you can't see him, but he puts it down when he recognizes, he's already kind of beating my guy. And then when you see him come on your screen, he's sort of jumping. You can see him right here. He's jumping. And now he's jumping up and down. He's watching. This feels bad. And now he's just watching and resigned to the fate that he has. First down from Florida, and that is definitely making something out of nothing. You've got a young tight end and a check down route with the defender coming in, that all he really needs to do is slow his feet down more and contain. He doesn't. He overruns it in his excitement. Excellent work here. You got to play 11 as one. Excellent work here by Etienne to come get this helping block. If he does not get that block, he's probably also going to get tackled. Instead, Florida comes up with a huge 4th and 11 conversion on a play that had the intended receiver open, but the O-line did not execute, and Florida was in the ropes, but instead Florida has new life. Although Florida does not run this concept with the perfect spacing, I love this route combination. I like to call this a trail route for my own terminology. And what we're going to get here is you're going to get 2 receivers that stem into the same area. And then one is going to break off and one is going to continue going. There's lots of different ways you can run this. If you're ever facing a team, if you're a coach and you're facing a cover 2 team, one of my favorite routes of all time in this scenario is you can stem him in here first. Either one of these guys, stem him in behind him, and then you run both guys right at the safety like this. And then obviously one goes here and one goes here, and you can determine your rules for how you do that. But you 2-on-1 this safety in what I like to call a trail route. Florida's going to take this concept here. Eugene's going to run off the top. He's going to get right behind him and snap off here, basically on an out route or a corner, and watch it right there. Now again, it's not perfect. You'd rather have them be at full speed. They get a little bit nudged up here, but the concept works well because what happens is it conflicts the rules of the defenders, who's taking what, who drops, who stays, and leads to a nice, easy throw in this pocket between your zoning defenders, which Florida takes advantage of there. Love that concept. Love that first down, turning into another first down. 4th and 1, Florida executing what should be a 4-minute drive here. They got the ball with 9 minutes and 11 seconds. They want to score before the 4-minute scenario so they can use their 2 timeouts to stop South Carolina, have them punt, and get the ball back. So they're on schedule, but the problem is now it's 4th down and 1. Now, you could elect to kick a field goal here. You can certainly elect to do so, and that is one reason why this play is going to work. South Carolina knows Florida can do this. It is a 2-score game. Kicked a field goal because South Carolina very importantly missed their extra point. Florida does not have to get a 2-point conversion, which is even more threatening. They might just kick this field goal, but I think the decision to go here is absolutely the right one. It's 4th down and 1. If you can't pick this up, you don't deserve to win the game anyway. You may not get an opportunity where you're this close again. Let's try to score right now. But what I love more is how Florida goes about doing this. Again, max creativity from Florida this week. We're going to shift in here. We're going hard count. We've already been doing stuff for 8 seconds. We're going to hard count some more. Look, if you're South Carolina right now, and in fact, if you're watching on your television, you thought Florida's taking a delay game and kicking the field goal. And that's what I think everyone thought. It looks like it. And even here, he pulls out again. They're not going to run this play. You can kind of see South Carolina looking at the sideline thinking, look, coach, they're not going to run this play. He's thinking, what's going on here? They're not actually going to run this play. And they're like, don't jump, don't jump. He looks to go here. And now Florida actually, again, confusion, right? This is perfect confusion. Like, are they snapping it? Are they not? Don't jump off sides. And here comes a little quick toss. A little quick toss. Now, why do we like this play here? Tosses are dangerous. Given what you see on the look here, this is a good play to go with. You have 3 guys well off the ball. He can't make this play. We're going to get a block here. We're going to get a block here. And we're coming out the door here, right? Seal this in here. And there you go. There's your seal. Leave your interior defenders in a foot race here to the edge on 4th and 1. They shouldn't be able to win that. They don't win that. And ETN gets an easy and safe first down on 4th and 1. The second 4th down conversion as Florida chases this game. And we're back in business. 2nd and goal, a play that you have now seen countless times on this very film review, run with every single tight end Florida has. The split zone play action fake throw to the split zoner, in this case, Arliss, who gets hooked a little bit there. Mertz then delivers a ball that's a little bit high, little bit nervy. Why is that nervy? Because if he doesn't touch it, here's your South Carolina defender who's reading this as a pick to end the game. But Arliss does touch it and then claims it and then gets in the end zone. And instead of this guy having a pick, we are in the end zone for a tutty. And here we go. Florida unsuccessful on its first 2 passing plays. 3rd down and 10. Things are getting dire. Twin set here. You watch Florida play enough, you know we love the slants. You know we love double slants. You know we generally love to hit the slot slant here on this side. You know it. South Carolina knows it. We saw them load up on this earlier. Simulated pressure here from South Carolina. Nice play design by South Carolina. Let's not send just one. Let's send 2 guys back into the slot window because we know Mertz loves it. Now, where should Mertz go? If you're looking at the bottom of your screen, he should come down here to Ricky, right? This is where you want to go, because Ricky is literally wide the heck open. Again, a matchup here that you love. He's been killing 21 all game long. If you're pre-snap and you're Mertz, sometimes you got to make sure you make your read. Again, this looks like pre-snap, right? A beautiful big fat cover 0, which it is. It is cover 0 on 3rd down and 10. And you don't know where people are going. This is why simulated pressures work really well. You don't know where they're going, so we could pre-snap Ricky and think, look, they're definitely going to pay attention to Ricky. It's less likely they pay attention here. So this is a tricky scenario, except post-snap, this is where it's hard to see these guys, right? He sees a lot of red coming at him. He sees a pocket perhaps collapsing, and he is staring this down. This is a win for the defense. This is an L for the offense. We are in serious trouble here. We're missing the throw we need on 3rd down and 10. He's going to throw this anyway, and really he's going to get really lucky, right? We're totally covered up here. Perhaps some early contact there. He actually fits it in there, which is incredible to me. He fits this ball in there. I mean, just throws gas in there, and somehow Arliss sees it. But again, this is not ideal here. You want to open this up. Of course, Florida, part of the reason why Mertz probably does this is he knows that he's probably going to have a ton of time. If you don't have a ton of time, you're just sticking to one read. But ideally here, he want to be able to see these helmets and go somewhere else. Stick this one in here. We're off to the races, right? We don't do it. It's going to bring up 4th down. 4th down and 10. SEC Network correctly highlights Ricky, who's going to make a play here. But this play is dead. We are dead. We're going to basically run slot fade out here, and we're going to run in here a sit in route. So you're going to sit here like a hitch and then race to the in. And up top here, we're going to have a hitch route, and then we're going to have a dig route at the sticks, and those are both going to be dead. There's nowhere to go. More importantly, we're going to mess up our protection here. Don't know who's to blame other than we're going to mess it up. It's possible that Mertz didn't call that proper slide. It's possible we just blow this edge here, but whatever the case may be, we're dead here. We're dead, right? Take a look here. This is the definition of dead. Free rusher off the side here. Mertz looking here. Dead. Ricky's not even started to make his move yet. We're nowhere near the sticks. This game is over. Like, say goodbye. It's over. Pack things up. We are not getting out of here with a W. And now it's time for Mertz to make a play. So we talked earlier about how sometimes as a quarterback, you got to make a play. You have to do it. And this is a case where right now Mertz knows I have to make a play. I don't have the luxury of waiting for my routes, which are not there yet, to get there. I have to make a play right now or this game is over. Now, you know when I talk about defense, I talk long and hard about how if I'm teaching edge rushers, what do? You make sure you stay on the outside of the quarterback. It really does kill me how often in the NFL and college I see free rushers run to the interior part or the front shoulder of quarterbacks. That is such a bad idea. If instead you stay to the outside here and you run with a contain rush, you do not allow him to escape you to the outside. You keep him in here. You get your arm on him, and the play ends. But we're going to come in way too hot here. His eyes are lit up. He's like, I got this guy. He didn't even see me. I'm going to knock him out. The game's over. And then look at him. He's 2 inside. And Mertz thankfully sees this, and now he's on skates, right? And now he's down on skates. And we're okay. A situation where South Carolina has the exact perfect play dialed up. We're absolutely dead. We have nothing. Mertz says, I have to make a play. It's 4th down and 10. I have to get rid of this ball and just give my guy a shot. Let me give him a shot, right? And Ricky basically was not open on this slot fade, but he turns around when he sees his quarterback scrambling to the outside and just makes himself a target. And then an absolute dime on the run to the right, something we know Mertz likes to do. Throws really accurately on the run to the right. Don't sleep on that as a Florida fan. Converts a super improbable 4th down. The third one Florida's converted. That was perhaps the least probable one of all the ones they converted, given what that looked like pre-snap and post-snap and for the first second of the play. But Florida moves the chains and is still alive down 3 with 2 minutes and counting. This is a really good run call from Florida in this situation. With 1:55 left, if I'm Napier, I'm actually thinking of trying to score with as little time left as possible because obviously Rattler has put up a bunch of points on my defense. And even though they just got to stop, I don't feel comfortable with them not getting a chance to score. But more importantly, you're looking for the best expected value play given the situation. And we can see now that South Carolina is generally further back offline, wide splits here, right? They're playing pass defense all the way. We've got 3 already quite back off the line, which means, hey, this left side looks good for the taking. We know he's probably dropping. He's probably going to drop as well. And there you go. Now we're going to take this easy money. We're going to bring our wide receiver in here, get a block down here, get the numbers significantly in our favor. We're 2-on-1ing out to here. Nice big hole to the outside, probably a little bit of holding there. And then we're off to the races with Montrell, who's going to pick up a first down and get the momentum rolling for Florida. Good piece of play calling here from Florida. Again, we're in the same twin set we saw earlier on that on the incompletion when we tried to throw a slant in here. We see also South Carolina loading up their defense more to this side again. A lot of space to Ricky. Favorable matchup that we've had already versus 21 all day. And we're going to take it. Very, very smart. No threat here. Again, he can drop back, but less likely there's going to be a threat with nobody to immediately replace him in this situation. Let's go right to our slant. All we're doing is making sure all this traffic stays over here. We know we want to come here, open up, read. Now, Mertz goes right away to this. I think ideally here when you open this up, you want to make sure this guy's not on top of you. Because, look, he has not seen where he is. It's very possible the pre-snap he sees this, and post-snap, as what happens in the NFL to young quarterbacks, is they do this, and this guy's coming downhill, right? So, again, if you're Mertz and you're watching the film, you do need to make sure that this dude is still back there. Just a quick look. You open up, quick look, and sling. Either way, this is great, right? Except the ball, not great. Easy ball for Mertz here. I think he's feeling a little rushed. He feels the moment. Put this ball out here. We're running. We're still going. Put this ball back here, and the game could be over because just as easily as Trey catches this, he could have caught it. By the way, number 6, same guy who almost would have had the overthrow pick if there was an overthrow pick when Arliss caught it, and now his eyes get big, and he thinks, I got this, and instead it goes to Trey. And hey, look, as Florida fans, we need some breaks. We haven't had many in football for quite some time. It was first down. If the ball falls incomplete, you're just fine if you're Florida. Obviously, still a big play because it could have been a pick. And if it's a pick, the game is over. So thankfully it's not, and Florida's going to move the sticks on a good play design and a good play call that should have been easy completion. Not a great throw by Mertz, but again, you can't make them all well. And here we are, driving, just down 3. All right, 1st and 10. You definitely want to run a little bit of clock here. Look, South Carolina is in control with these 3 timeouts. Timeouts are important for this reason. They can kind of dictate what happens, but you definitely want to be able to, I think, run some clock if you can, although South Carolina getting aggressive right here, coming down in the box, right? You got 6 in the run fit, coming heavy in, little run blitz action, but we're still staying safe back here. So kind of a combo. Let's cover all 6 gaps off the start if you want to run it, and we get a win here, which we're going to get right off the start through Slaughter and the A gap. Bam, instant win. We've seen 91 on film already get some wins. Huge win here. Also a win here on George. So we're kind of 0 for 2 here. That play's going nowhere. Florida's going to take a loss on that one. Clock running. Florida well within field goal range, but perhaps that touchdown's not looking so good. Very next play. This is the new look Florida Gators in this one particular game. We'll see if it sticks around, but we are not going to go quietly into the night. We're not just going to sit here and throw a bubble screen or a handoff or something simple. We're going for the jugular. 51 seconds left. I think in an ideal world, you'd still want to bleed more time off, but now a 2nd and 15, you want to take your best play, your best chance. You want to score now, right? You don't want to flirt with this. You want to win. You're on the road. I love this idea of an aggressive play call here, again, because you've lost control. You are not on schedule. Things are getting complicated for you. If you don't complete this, it's 3rd and 15. Let's go for a score right here, especially versus this look, which is a great one off the back end right away. Vertical route here. What are we getting? 3 guys guarding 2 verticals. This is good math. I like this. Most importantly, Florida's going to execute something that, this is kind of comical. We've tried this slant and go a bunch this season. We've yet to hit it, and oftentimes we're so early on the pump fake. Watch it again here. I just kind of like this. Ready? Pump fake. And again, he's not even remotely started his actual slant. And again, the pump fake should be right here. We're well done pump faking, but why does this one not matter? This one doesn't matter because this pump fake is not for him. It's for him. And this one is fine. So I'm not going to say that Mertz pump faked early here because he didn't. This pump fake is for the safety. Let's watch the safety. He's going to read the quarterback's eyes. He sees him looking this way. He opens up. He knows he's in single high. He's got to help where he thinks the quarterback's going. And once he sees this pump fake, watch the pump fake. Pump fake, he's totally going over here now. Ball's got to be going over here. He's looked over here. He's pump faked over here, except all we're doing with that is clearing this window here on the hash where we can stick the route that Ricky's running, which is a corner post. I love the double moves Ricky's running, either a post corner or a corner post, Copo. I love both of them for Ricky. He's very good at running them. It's a guy he's been tearing up all day long. He's going to tear him up again. Corner route, wham, post route there. Now, in reality, a corner route here should not be very threatening, right? Very skinny side of the field here, but he clears space, which is what he wants. He wants to clear space to show his quarterback and hit him in here in this window. This is great timing by Mertz. Watch this timing, your pump fake. Safety moves over. Make sure the safety stays over. Snap your head to your target. Boom, right to the spot, right here. Watch this one more time. Open up, pump fake, ID safety. Target, back foot hits, Boom, target, sling. I mean, the timing there is perfect. And because of that timing, this safety can't get there. If he waits longer, this is what you'll see freshmen or sophomore, inexperienced quarterbacks do. If he waits longer to go pump fake, look, I want to see him. I want to make sure he's open. I want to see him. The safety may get there. The window may close. Instead, he puts the ball right at the exact right time, which means the trail defender can't get there. Those are the exact right window. Absolute dime. To me, that's one of the best throws I've seen Mertz make because of the complete quarterbacking you just saw there. Timing, footwork, accuracy, everything, right? Absolute cold dime into the end zone. There's Ricky again on film. There's 21 on the ground. There's Payne in Columbia as Florida is going to take the lead on the road. And also, they're going to score more than 40 points on the road. Is this real life? Look at these fans. They don't think it's real life. They're in some sort of Florida Gator dreamland. They can't even believe it. Look at these guys mosh pitting down here, right? This is surreal. I can't believe this. Mertz is hurt. Mertz is hurt. Mertz is hurt. Mertz is hurt. Mertz is not hurt. Mertz is fired up, right? I'm not at Wisconsin anymore. The weather's nice in Florida. I'm in the SEC. Boom, I'm amped. I'm fired up. Billy, he didn't really look too fired up. That's kind of Billy's look most of the time. After the game, he'd get fired up. But basically, Florida feeling it, roughing the passer call. Look at Mertz. We are hyped. We're on the road. You thought we were trash. You thought we couldn't score points. I'm balling. And look, Mertz earned every second of the heroics he pulled, as you saw in this game. When you're a quarterback and you got to throw that many times in the fourth quarter, you're going to miss some guys. Like on film, our job is to show you what the optimal play is. It's not to say, for those of you that write in the comments frequently, that means Mertz should have done everything I'm saying. That's not the point of film review. It's to say, oh, I wish I would have done that. No quarterback's going to hit all those things, right? His hit rate was very high in the fourth quarter. And again, his play is the reason why Florida was able to win. He had to dodge a few bullets, as you typically have to do, a few bad passes here and there, a missed read here and there. But when it mattered the most, he made big plays, or his receivers made big plays for him. And in this play right there, the play that mattered the most at the end, the one to win it, was perfection by him. Indeed. He deserves every moment of this hype he's given right here, right? Big time play. Florida now in control. Defense has to get a stop, which of course they would. And then Florida has to endure what comes up next. All right, game seems to be over, except South Carolina has 3 timeouts left. There's 20 seconds left. You're playing Shane Beamer, son of Frank Beamer. Shane himself's a special teams guy. He's seen games won on special teams, Michigan State famously many years ago. Most importantly, he should call his timeouts. And Florida should expect this and should take time off the clock, but they kind of inexplicably do not. Quick snap, quick knee, 1 second goes off the clock here, and then Billy, headset off right here, is celebrating the win. High five right here. We're celebrating the win. This is awesome, man. Road win, let's go. And then, of course, you saw this on television. He then gets about right here and sees that they called a timeout, and he kind of waves his hand over to the sideline like, why are you calling timeouts? I think then he gets back on the headset and recognizes that he should be calling timeouts. This is not a salty thing Beamer's doing. This is what you should do. And now Florida played right into their hands by not being ready for this. So not the ideal execution at the start of this. After this, Florida does execute this correctly by taking several big losses, wasting as much time as possible, and then taking the safety rather than attempting a punt. So all the rest played out fine. Little bit of just a miss right here, just a mental mistake to not get this part correct. But Florida does escape with the W. Huge win for the Gators. Big moment for Florida. And for ceremony's sake, here is the final play of the game. South Carolina inexplicably not going to fair catch this. That's a mistake. Then going to have to do this. That's not going to work. And there we go. Game over. Florida wins on the road, moving to 2-7 now in road games for Florida. If you've seen the stat, Billy was 2-7 on the road when he started with Louisiana, then went on a string of very successful road winning percentage-wise. So perhaps that's in Florida's future, although the rest of Florida's schedule is daunting to say the least. Either way, Florida with a huge W carried by the offense. Defense survives and gets 2 big stops at the end to help out. Offensive production, though, was absolutely fantastic, as we talked about before. Florida throwing far more than passing. Play design different than what we've seen on this film review under Napier. Consistently aggressive. Multiple route combinations not only made sense, but led to receivers getting open. Most importantly, followed by actual production. And thankfully, followed by plays where we could have had more. And that's what you want to see, right? You want to see a lot of plays where you could have had more, because that means you're raising your expected value per play. You're raising your expected value of production. And you're obviously giving players a chance to get excited each week on film, knowing, hey, I'm open. I'm getting open. You're giving the quarterback to say, let me trust my offensive line a little more. And you're giving the O-line a chance to say, look, if I can block a second longer, we can hit these plays. So a lot of positive momentum coming out of this game for Florida's offense. It is, of course, important they played a porous defense in South Carolina, but it's also important to note the play designs themselves, something we talk a lot about on this film review. Both of those things are true. Play design's much better, receivers far more open than normal. Also, they played a very weak defense. We will see what happens if all of those things coexist again when Florida plays a better defense up next with Georgia. And of course, I will be here with you to break down that action. Until then, I'm James from the Gator Nation Football Podcast, and I certainly hope you enjoyed this film review. Go Gators.